and welcome back to another YouTube video. Today's YouTube video I actually can't wait to do. So it's a chit chat girly kind of get ready with me. I thought I'd kill two birds with one stone, get a girly advice, talk with me sort of video done, and then also get my makeup tutorial done. This wouldn't be my day-to-day makeup tutorial. If you know me, I kind of just do bronzer and concealer if I'm doing something quick or getting quick photos, but hopefully when things open back up again, this would be my going for food, doing stuff makeup routine. Hence why I look like this on camera. But I understand that we're in lockdown, a lot of girls can't see their friends, a lot of boys as well obviously, but this is a girly get ready with me. But if you're a boy watching as well, hi. I asked a load of questions basically on my Instagram. If you don't follow my Instagram, you should. Basically asking advice questions, beauty questions, girly questions, relationships, friendships. Like, there's so many variety in this video. You'll definitely find something that you'd like to know about or want advice on yourself. So I'm just gonna get straight into the video, do my makeup, answer some questions as I go, and there's a lot of them. There's some juicy ones and I cannot wait to answer them. So let's get into the video. Okay, great way to start off. I put far too much foundation on my face. I rarely ever wear foundation anymore, so I just always forget how much to put on. If you want to know what foundation that I am using this NARS one, which is really white. It's the medium 3, and then I use a mixture of 3 medium dark, the ordinary. Don't mind the state of them now, but okay. The first question is, how did I find the confidence to dress how I dress now? Obviously, if you look back on my 2 videos ago, I think I did a reacting to old photos of mine where I did not dress how I dress now. Not saying anything bad about the way I dressed back then, it's just I found more confidence within myself to dress the way I want. How did I do that? I don't know. I just kind of remember sitting down, talking to myself, looking in the mirror. I think I was like 15 at the time when I started my Instagram, maybe 16, and I was just kind of like, I'm sick of the way I look. I'm sick of looking not like everyone else, but just dressing not me, not the way I would like to. Obviously, I said when I got with Luke as well, he helped me gain a lot of confidence in myself. He really pushed me to the best I could be, which is great, and I'm forever grateful for him for that. Just basically, like, why would you want to live the rest of your life regretting choices that you didn't do? It's better to regret, like, oh, I wish I didn't wear that outfit, than thinking, oh, I wish I wore that outfit. You know what I mean? Like, I think that there's just a certain point in your life you can only let other people's opinions like guide you to what you want to do, like influence you, whatever. Definitely wanted to start posting outfit pictures and stuff on Instagram and stuff, so that pushed me a bit more. Just really, like, don't let other people's opinions stop you from doing what you want to do, and that's on period. Okay, I'm gonna do a few ones before I go on next into my makeup, but what to do when you have toxic friends is the next one. I've had this many times in my life. Cut them. It sounds so harsh, but get rid of them. If they're toxic and you can sit there and call them toxic, you've answered your own question. I don't even have to ask it for you. My earrings are still rattling, but you've just answered the question for yourself. Like, instead of me asking you, are they bad for you, are they toxic, you've already called them toxic friends, so why would you have them in your life? In school, I didn't have that much friends, but that was by choice. Like, I literally don't like evolving. I hate negative people. Negative. You'd be like, it's sunny outside. Yeah, but it's too hot. Like, shut up. My phone always dings in these videos, but anyways, you get what I'm trying to say. Just cut yourself for them. Like, I didn't have that many friends whatsoever in secondary school, and really don't care. Like, I was doing my own thing. I grew into the person that I am now, and I didn't have any negative people holding me back. I think that's kind of why I have a lot of confidence as well. I didn't surround myself with a lot of toxic people, so I didn't put up with bullshit. Like, if someone was telling me my outfit shit, like, okay, you're just jealous. It's not. I don't know, you get what I'm trying to say. Just, you've already called them toxic, so you just need to cut them out of your lives. Like, you're probably around my age, 16, 17, 18, 19, like, you haven't even lived a proportion of your life. You've so many more friends, real friends, to come along, and I wish I knew that. Like, as you get older, you make more friends, and if not, you're like, we're all born not to like everyone. Like, I know a lot of people who don't like me. I know people like that don't like her, don't like this. That's the way life is. Not everyone is meant to like everyone. Not everyone's meant to get along, but you'll find friends. You'll make new friends. So if they're toxic and bad for you, please just don't put up with shit. I hate seeing people who know friends are bad for them but just stay around because they feel they need to. You don't need to do anything. Okay, I kind of went off on a rant there, but you get what I'm trying to say. This one's kind of in the same category, so I'm going to answer this one too. How do you know if a girl is being fake to you? Girl, don't get me started. I literally can tell red flags from a mile away. Mile away. You can tell by someone's attitude and their way towards you. Like, if someone's always going on about people, who says that they're not always on about you either? They're always bitching about someone, so always something negative about other people. I guarantee you do to you as well. The less you hang around with people that crave negative energy, the more positive you will be in your own life. And that's on facts. Okay, so I've literally, pretty sure I've like beat this into my face for the full time I've been talking there. So I'm going to go on to the next step. So next I'm going to use the Catrice concealer. I'll show you how I do it there. So I go a bit mad on the concealer because I like the sharp look. But anyways, I just put it under my eyes on the two sides. I kind of make it, like you can kind of see it here, but I do like sharpen it up right to my side of my forehead because I kind of like that cat eye look. Just kind of blend it out a little bit here. Sorry, my mirror is in the camera. Then I do it on my chin. I really like the shade of this concealer, that's why I use it the most, but I really want to try Fenty Beauty foundation and concealer. I know a lot of people, I didn't know you could get it on Boots online. Like, I did not know that. So I will be getting that. I need a load of new makeup. Like, my makeup's actually horrendous. It does the job, like, but it's manky from being in a makeup bag all the time. But anyways, I do it on my forehead here too. My little forehead. Anyways, I know I have a big forehead. I'm not self-conscious about it whatsoever because Rihanna has a big ass forehead, as I said before, and she is one of the best looking women in the world. So I'm going to take what I can get. But anyways, I put a small bit left over on my cheek. Like, oh, that was not straight whatsoever. And a bit on the other side. So when I look at myself, like in the mirror here, it makes me look chiseled. And then I'm just going to go with a wet beauty blender. I already wetted this a few minutes ago. And I'm just going to blend it out. I just like the kind of white harsh lines it gives. Then when I'm doing my cheeks, I like I put a bit too much on, but who cares? I kind of just drag it and just press it down. A lot of people don't like the chiseled look and the line on the cheeks, but I personally do. But then, not to make it as harsh, I would just go on a beauty blender there at the side. You get the vibes. Okay, so that's my concealer all blended out. Just make sure there's no extreme harsh lines like the line here. Just kind of dab it a bit. Anyways, I'm going to do a few more questions before I move on to steps because I'm not a very good multitasker. Can't talk and do it at the same time. But anyways, next one. I'm wanting to start up with Instagram where I can chat and put up pics, but I'm not sure if I need to make a new account to build a platform or stay with the account I have. Love your stuff, by the way. Thank you. Stick with your own account. People obviously know this, but when you start like your own platform growing, like mine was fashion obviously. When will I ever learn to delete all the old footage on my camera before I start a new video? Anyways, what I was trying to say was, obviously my page is fashion, beauty and lifestyle. When did I start mine? I started mine about 2 years ago now. And when I did start posting content like that on my story, there's obviously going to be a lot of people that aren't interested in it if they followed you for ages. So let's say all boys in my school, boys in my area, they probably wouldn't have an interest in my page because I only talk about fashion, beauty, makeup, blah blah blah. Please don't take it personally if you do make your own account and turn it into like an influencer account. Please don't be offended. There is going to be people that are going to unfollow you, and you shouldn't take that as negativity. They don't like what you're doing, blah blah blah. It's not impersonal, it's just they don't have an interest in your stuff. They followed you because they knew of you, but now you're doing something that they're not interested in. It's really nothing negative whatsoever. Like when people that were in my school, or people that were in my year, or people that lived in my area that are boys, or they're girls I don't speak to anymore, I really don't get offended if you were to unfollow me because, okay, my content isn't for everyone. Like, that's the only thing about making your old account into, like, turning into a platform account, like a business account, let's say. Because if you go and make a new separate account, you have to grow all your following again. Which the good thing about that is that, you know, they're real people that do want to see your content. I personally just turned my own old account that I've had since I was like 11 into my fashion page, and at the start I did get a good bit of unfollowing, but it really didn't bother me at all because I didn't take it personally. People don't mean it to be mean. It's genuinely not a mean thing. It's just they wouldn't, like, they don't know you. So basically, if you are willing to start all over again, make a new page. If you don't want to start all over again, use your old page, but you will have to understand and don't take it personally whatsoever. People will unfollow you if they don't have an interest in what you're doing. Say like you're talking on your stories about fashion stuff, there's probably gonna be a lot of boys that were in your school or whatever that unfollowed you because they don't, it's nothing personal, they just don't want to be watching it. Okay, I kind of went off on one about that, but I think you get what I'm trying to say. Okay, so someone asked me, I'm gonna fill in my eyebrows in a minute, but someone asked me, why did you stop filling in your eyebrows in? Just curious, love them either way. Laziness. Maybe. When I do heavy makeup like this, I do fill them in, but when I'm doing contour natural stuff, I kind of just put brow gel in them. I have very light natural hair, if you can kind of see. My own roots would be as well, but I have spray on them. But my own hair is very natural, and I just haven't got a chance to go get my eyebrows done, get them tinted. I have tint at home, but sometimes I feel it goes purple. It's just laziness, to be honest. Sometimes I would lightly fill them in, but I don't do the blocky stuff anymore. I'm not really into that. I'm into the more fluffy natural look. But thank you anyways. Okay, so next I'm just going in with some Revolution banana powder, and I'm just putting it on a smaller brush. I feel like it gets into the details, and I'm just setting my skin like so. I just do that in the areas that I have put concealer on. I have all my baking done there. I kind of just leave a harsh line on both sides of the eyes, just so when I'm doing my eye makeup I can kind of see the look I'm going for. A little bit on my jaw as well. But that's basically all I do to set my face, and it does get a bit oily, to be fair, afterwards, but it's fine. Like it's good for the price of it. Okay, so I'm gonna go do another question there. I read a lot of romanticized books, and I so bad want the romantic spark that they all have with my boyfriend. Oh my god, that's so funny. But like, I don't know if this is just me, but books, like romanticized books like that, like love story ones, they're not real life. I don't want to be mean. I understand what you mean. Like, obviously it's really hard to do that now because of COVID and stuff. You could go on romantic dates, like picnics, like in books or in movies or whatever. If that's what you're into, like, you could really recreate that. But like, sometimes I think you need to get that, like, books and movies or relationships aren't real, like fairy tales aren't real. But I presume you still have love for your boyfriend anyways, but you just want that like kinkiness of in a book. But hopefully when COVID and stuff calms down, that you will be able to do that. But the way you phrased it was just really funny. You made me laugh. Okay, so another question is, how is my skin so clear? It's really not. I think the pill I'm on, the pill, I don't know what the name of it, I think it's Lenore or Microlit, one of them. That's the pill I'm on, and it really helped my skin a lot. I'm not telling you to go on the pill, it has a lot of bad side effects. I'm just saying for me personally it did help my skin. I take good care of my skin, to be fair. I take off my makeup properly. I never go to sleep with makeup on. Please don't do it to yourself. Just don't do it. I use my micellar water, I use a deep cleanser, toner, Sosu tan spray. Then when I don't wear Sosu tan spray on my skin, it literally breaks out. Like if I scrub off all my tan and go a few days without tan on my face, like my skin breaks out. It's like it's just so used to it now that it just needs it. But personally that's what works for me. But thank you, that is a very nice compliment for someone to say your skin's nice. Now I'm just going in with this palette that I actually got on Beauty Bay. It's just this really handy contour palette. I use that really small brush again that I used for baking, just getting the yellow powder here, and I just kind of do a bit more setting. It's a bit like of a lighter shade, so it kind of just makes sure no more. I have pretty oily skin, to be fair. Like I have a really dry forehead, but then everywhere else is really dry, to be fair. So I just kind of set any more places where I think more oils could come in. Like you can kind of see my forehead there. It won't focus, but I just have a bit of a dry forehead. I did moisturize my skin before I done it, but sometimes it's just when I have too much powder on my skin, especially on my forehead, I can go a bit dry. Then I use the same palette again, and I use one of these brushes, kind of a sculpting one, and I start lightly contouring. I do an upwards motion. I use the light shade first before I go into bronzing, but I love this palette so much. Okay, I'm going to answer another question while I do my contour. Okay, I'm back. I'm pretty sure I'm literally CEO of damage today. My camera just died. I had to wait for it to charge a bit. So I did do my bronzer. off camera I literally just used the Sosu bronzer then to just shape around my forehead, around my nose, my cheeks, my jaw. I'm not even going to show you the state of my Sosu bronzer, it is that bad. My makeup looks a little bit white still on camera. I'm orange in person then, I don't know. I'm just gonna answer a few more questions anyways before, see how long I can get left out of my camera before I get into other pieces of makeup. But okay, so the next question is, how do I get the body I have now? I'm not gonna lie, I think I kind of just grew into my bigger body when this was like start of secondary school, is when I was a little bit bigger than what I am now. I was a 12, I'm a 6 now. There's nothing wrong with the size 12, I've said before, it's just not the size I am now. I started eating so much better. Like when I was in secondary school, up until 3rd year at least, maybe 2nd year, on my way home from school, I would stop in the shop and I would get a multi-pack bar of chocolates and I would eat it to myself on the way home. Like my diet was bad. I hung around with people whose diet was also bad. We ate bad stuff together. I exercise more. I go on my trampoline every day. Every single day. I bounce up and down for hours. I think that's some form of fitness. I bring my dogs for walks. I definitely want to get into more fitness stuff this summer. I'm very happy with the way my body is now. I'm not insecure about it whatsoever. I was in the past. I'm not going to sit here and tell you all these diet plans and things that I've done. I genuinely didn't do any of those. I just kind of lost it naturally. I suppose it was only baby fat as well. Okay, so the next question is, all my friends have boyfriends. I feel like I'm left out. I don't have, she phrased it really badly, so I texted her, but she basically said all her friends have boyfriends, she doesn't have a boyfriend, she feels a bit left out and she doesn't know how to find nice boys to text. Seriously, do not put pressure on yourself. Just because all your friends have boyfriends does not mean you need a boyfriend whatsoever. If anything, it's really good. I know I'm a hypocrite. I had a boyfriend I never not really had a boyfriend. We got together when I was 15, so I have not really been single much in my life. But do not put pressure on it. People's lives, people come into people's lives very differently compared to other people. We're not all meant to have the same life. Advice on to find good boys: do not, I know how bad young teenage boys can be, so do not feel under pressure by any boys to do anything you're not comfortable with. Nice boys will come to you naturally. Do not force it. Do not feel you need a boyfriend just because all your friends do. You really, really, really don't. Just don't put pressure on yourself. Live your life. And if it happens, it happens, but don't put pressure on yourself, you know. Advice on how to find such a supportive boyfriend. I feel like you can't go out looking for a supportive boyfriend. They either are supportive when you're with them or not, or they can grow to be supportive. I'm very, very, very lucky that Luke is probably one of the most supportive people in my life. He edits my videos, he pushes me to do the best videos, he pushes me to get the best content, he makes me happy, he treats me unreal. I'm very, very, very lucky. So they either come supportive or they're not. And I don't call Luke a boy, he's a man. He is a man. But if your boyfriend that you're with isn't supportive, that's on them, that's not on you. You really can't just put a banner and be like, supportive boyfriend needed. It comes naturally, and if they are supportive, then that is the most important thing in the relationship. Like, if you're with the fella and you say, oh, do you know what, I want to be a YouTuber, and they laugh in your face and tell you it's unrealistic, there's the door. Literally, get out, get out, get out. Luke always told me, pushed me to do all these things, so I'm very, very lucky for that. Do you think girls following your boyfriend is weird? No, not at all. Do I find it weird that girls follow my boyfriend? I'm not saying you are insecure if you get weird about it. I'm personally not a very insecure person. I don't think about things like that too much. I don't find liking pictures weird. Okay, to the extent if they're very inappropriate pictures of people you know, then it would be a bit weird, but I'm not very psychotic about that. I'm not saying you are psychotic if you do that. I'm just saying personally it doesn't bother me that girls follow my boyfriend, especially with the platform I'm trying to do. Like, if I'm doing Instagram, if I'm doing YouTube or whatever, they're obviously gonna follow my boyfriend as well, since we're trying to do it together as well. We also do couple videos. I don't find it weird whatsoever, and it doesn't bother me in any way, shape or form. We have a lot of trust in our relationship, and I'm not gonna start snapping over girls following him. I really just doesn't bother me whatsoever. Does social media ever make you insecure? Sometimes. It not really though. Sometimes it just pushes me more to do better. If I see someone with a nice content picture, I'm like, you know what, that's gonna make me get up, get dressed, put more effort into my content. That's kind of what it makes me do. Also as well, it's very important to realize that people on social media aren't don't look like that, aren't that happy all the time. Like on my Instagram you probably think I'm the happiest person in the world. On Beyonce's Instagram, on Kim Kardashian, whoever you follow, you probably think their life is perfect, but nobody shows the bad parts on Instagram. Nobody shows them looking ugly. It's just the way life is. So don't go comparing yourself. Let it motivate you, let it push you to do better, but don't ever let it make you insecure. I know it's easier said than done. We all have bad moments, but just let it help you push to do better. And just remember, it's not real. It really isn't real. It's best moments, best pictures. Nobody posts ugly pictures on Instagram unless it's like a spam page or whatever. Nobody does that whatsoever. I'm literally getting so talked into these videos, I'm forgetting I have a full face makeup on to do. And look up the foundation in my lips. Okay, I'm gonna do a few more because my camera's gonna die, and I'm gonna get back into the makeup as well. Do you ever have an embarrassing period experience? Yes. The first time I got my period, I was actually out in my village local area with a load of my friends. I was wearing denim dungarees, thick blood starts flowing out of me. Had to go around walking around with my friends for the full day until my mum was finished work so I could go home. I didn't live where I live now, I lived a little bit far away. But yeah, that was my first time getting my period. I had to wear a jumper, one of the lads' jumpers around my waist or something like that. Very bad. But I'm trying to think of other things. I actually went on TY work experience. We used to go to a local charity. Got my period there as well because I know this is so weird to talk about, but I have a like heavy flow, so like I bleed a lot on the first day as well. So like there was no bathroom in the charity shop, I think, and I was wearing this big puffer and these denim jeans, and then my like pad got so heavy. Oh my god, this is actually so disgusting to be talking about this online, but my pad got really heavy that I started leaking through the top of my pants. It started leaking through the top anyways. Wouldn't take off my jacket. Very luckily she sent us home because it was too quiet, but that would have been bad if she was like, take off your jacket, and I was like, no, I'm actually freezing. She was like, it's roasting here, and I was sweating like, but that was very embarrassing. Okay, so I'm gonna go, what's next? Blush. I'm gonna do a bit of blush. So I use this palette again. This palette is very handy. It's not really your normal blush, it's kind of like a whitey nude. I just use the same brush again, and I just kind of put a little bit into my cheeks. Nothing too mad, a little bit on my nose. Don't really like too much blush. I know like people always say that and end up loving it. Me personally, no, not really a fan. I like the Hoola bronzer, do you know the Hoola bronzer? I like the blush of that, but it's manky, it's somewhere in my room. Okay, next I'm gonna go and do some highlight. I use the MAC one. This is the one I use. It's like Oh Darling is the shade. Stayed again, got it years ago. I just really need to buy new makeup, please don't judge me. Then I just use a little brush. I can't find my highlighter brush. Luke put it somewhere, so I'm just going to use this one on my cheeks, my nose. Look at that shine. My cheeks, my nose, and a bit on my forehead as well there. Okay, so I just very quickly did my eyebrows off camera because I'm just not very good at doing it on camera. So basically I just used the MAC Spike to put a good bit of colour in my eyebrows. Then I use the Lashes of Love Brow Styling Balm just to give that fluffy brow look, and I just use a dirty spoolie to brush them up. Okay, so the next one is opinion on girl code. Now, I 100% believe in girl code, but there is certain girls that just take it too far. Like, oh, I kissed that boy in first year 7 years ago, weren't even together, just kissed them, you're not allowed to go near him or whatever. Now, I think girl code is so important, especially with your closest friends, your bestest friends. If it's a long-term serious relationship, like my best friend now, Lauren, has a boyfriend. She should never go off with Luke, and I would never go off with her boyfriend. That's just common sense, really. Doesn't but certain girls do just take it a little bit too far. Like, they could be married, moved on 4 billion times, and they'd be like, still don't go near that boy. You know, people just grow, people mature, people move on. Things happen naturally, but girl code is very important with your closest friends. But don't be that one person who's just like a bit too controlly about a person from a long time ago. Okay, so the next one is, I hardly see my best friend anymore because she has a boyfriend. Did you ever struggle? I think in the past I did kind of struggle. One of my friends had a boyfriend. It's just the way it is. They're obviously going to see their boyfriend a lot. They should never lose full contact with you though. And it doesn't seem like it. You just say you hardly see her. Just make plans with her. Try your best to make her know that she has friends as well. She doesn't have just the boyfriend. Just make it very clear that like you want to be part of her life and that you enjoy her company. I don't think she means it maliciously. I just think she's probably just caught up of the love life, and it's easy to forget you have friends as well. And if you are one of those people who do have a boyfriend, don't forget about your friends. It's very, very important, especially if anything bad was to ever happen, to always still have your friends. Don't ever push them away, only if they're bad for you. If you can push them away all you want if they're bad for you, but just because you get a boyfriend, do not push your friends away. I've learned that the hard way, but it's very, very, very important. Okay, so the next one was, were you nervous about starting a YouTube, and how did I build up the confidence to start one? I wasn't nervous at all to start my YouTube. I was a little bit, because I didn't like to sound the way I talked, but I'm fine now talking on camera. Definitely, I think what thing is the struggle, it's very hard to get your personality through a camera. Like, I'm a mad thing, I'm actually crazy, but I think when I watch my videos, I'm like, my personality isn't really shining through. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm kind of fine confidence wise. Like, I don't really care about posting things, talking on my story. Obviously it's a bit nervous the first time, but you just get used to it. Like, you honestly get used to it. Surround yourself with supportive people who push you to do it, and you'll be totally fine. Like, if your friends are like, no, you shouldn't do it, then I'd be questioning what type of friends I've had. Next question is, do I believe in soulmates? Yes, I do. I just think that some people are just meant to be together, whether if it's years later, months later, after you break up, or if you find your way back to each other. Just soulmates are just meant to be together. I love that one. I just think soulmates is just such a nice thing to talk about. What star signs are most compatible with my star sign? Okay, so I'm a Taurus, and I googled this earlier because I was getting the questions ready, but I am most compatible with a Cancer, Virgo and Capricorn. And that is just crazy because my best friend Lauren's a Cancer, her boyfriend is a Capricorn, he's best friends with Luke then, and then my boyfriend is a Virgo. I think that is very, very interesting. Just shows, like, I totally believe in star signs. I'm generally considered to be very alike to a Leo and an Aquarius. I know a few Leos, I can't think of any Aquarius, so if you're a Leo and Aquarius, apparently we're very alike, so I don't know, that's just what the internet says anyways. Okay, so this one is, any advice for having second thoughts in a long-term relationship? I don't know what to say about this. It's a very touchy one, but I feel like personally, what I've read, I read a lot of like books, and there's a lot of relationship chapters in them, but in the books that I have read, it always says, I think it's in between the first and second year of your full relationship, there's there's this little patch where if you make it through it, you can get through anything. So basically it's like this point where you always fight about everything. I really don't know. I think, like, the point of what I'm trying to say is you might be going through this phase right now where you're fighting over stupid things, where you're having doubts, you know, that's completely normal. But if you really love the person, I think you can get through anything. But it's very important to think of them with a different person. Can you imagine yourself with someone else? And if you can, and if you can be okay with them moving on eventually, obviously, then maybe they're not the right person for you, and that's okay. People break up, people get back together. It's a really natural thing. I think most relationships have eventually ended at some point, whether it be a week, a few months, a few years. Like, if it's meant to be, it'll always find its way back to you. I know a lot of people don't find it that way, but I personally do. Think if a relationship is meant to be for you, it will eventually find its way back to you. And I know I'm speaking like this and I have foundation all over my life, but we're just going to avoid it, okay? But if you are having doubts, talk to the person you're with about it. Tell them how you're feeling without to the point where I'm thinking about breaking up with you. Don't say that, you know. Just talk, be like, I think we're having some problems in our relationship. Can we discuss it? Can we talk about it? But just talk. Communication is the best thing you can do. Okay, so this one is kind of like breakup relationship advice well, so I'm going to keep in this topic. Have you and Luke ever taken a break or broke up? And do you think it's healthy to take one in a relationship? Last summer, me and Luke actually weren't together for about 3 or 4 months. We did break up. We broke up. We weren't taking a break. We didn't think we were going to be getting back together. I was completely heartbroken. I'm sure he was as well. It can be very, very healthy in a relationship as long as you don't cross the line. And we just knew it wasn't the right decision for us. We both loved each other so much. I think what I can do in a relationship, being without someone for a certain amount of time, I think it was about 3 months we weren't together, it can either show you how much you love the person and you want to be with them, or how much you don't need them and how much you're better off without them. And for me and Luke, it was both the first one, that we both realised how much we loved each other and wanted to be together. Can be very healthy. It hits the unhealthy, toxic part if you're breaking up all the time. If you're having an argument and you're like, I'm breaking up with you. Me and Luke never, ever, 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 and we always say it when we have arguments, do not use the I'm breaking up with you card. Like, when we did finish, he never said, or I never said, I'm breaking up with you, because it was so serious of a word to us that we never wanted to say I'm breaking up with you unless we 100% million percent mean it. So that's why I knew we'd eventually get back, because neither of us said that word. If it's just for the two of you to grow and see how things are, then that's the most important part. Okay, so we're gonna get away from the bit of the depressing stuff, and I need to get back to my makeup. But one more question is, the sheen beige hip cutout trousers that you wore on your Instagram, what underwear do you wear with them? I get this question all the time. Pennies 150 ones. I'll show you now without being a bit, you know, revealing. But basically, if you have underwear with the really thin band, I just personally just pull it down really low to where the pants cuts out, and you're fine. Like, thin underwear, that's just the best thing you can do. Pennies, you can get a pack of them for 150. So that's my advice on that. Basically, I'm gonna go do my eyes now. I don't do much to my eyes. What I do, if I can find one, is I get a sheet of paper. Now, this is my prescription for my pills, so I'm just gonna use this. Sorry, but not sorry. I'll show you what I do, and I'm gonna have to try do this on camera the best of my ability, but it's really not gonna work out. So I just get like a flat brush, get a piece of paper, and I just go like this and lightly just do like a eyeshadow wings. I'm gonna use the Sosu Urban Bible palette. This is her collab with Sosu. It's not the Cash Beauty one. I'm gonna take the shade Savior, I think, and I just take that lightly. So I just take that and I take a piece of paper. I'm just looking into my mirror here, and I just make sure it's kind of like hard, like has a good grip on it, and I just go like this, do it upwards angle, and then just lightly go like that and create a harsh line, but kind of blend it like that. I just love doing that. Sorry, that was such an ugly face, but I just love doing that. I think it just kind of lifts your face a bit. So I'm just going to do that on the other eye. Now, I would normally go in with a bit of my bronzer on my lid and stuff, but I'm not going to do that today because I'm not going anywhere, but that's what I would normally do. So basically all I've left to do is my lips. It's just kind of a basic glam look that I kind of am going for. As I said, I would do eyeshadow if I was going somewhere, but I'm not. I'm going to do a few more questions there before I do my lips. What's the best advice you've ever gotten? So Luke always tells me this advice when I'm frustrated about something. I'm not a very insecure person, but I am an overthinker, if you know what I mean. Like, if someone doesn't like me, not if someone doesn't like me, but if I have drama with someone, I hate thinking about it. Just want it sorted. I want it to be okay. I don't want us to be friends. I just want it sorted. I don't like people thinking bad of me when I'm not a bad person at all. So what Luke always says to me, I think Drake does this or something, but basically it's the 5 rule. So in 5 minutes, it won't bother you as much. In 5 hours, you probably won't think of it as much. You won't be as worked up as what you were. 5 days later, you've probably only thought about it a few times. You don't think about it as much. In 5 months, it hasn't crossed your mind at all. And in 5 years, you won't even remember it. I love that rule. I just think, like, when you're in the heat of the moment, you can be very angry and say stuff and get worked up about it, but if you just breathe and do the 5 rule, whatever you want to call it, I just think it works really well. Like, if something bad happens to me, just say it happened this morning, I'm not that annoyed about it now, and definitely in 5 years I will not remember it. So it's a very, very good piece of advice. Thank you, Luke. Advice on friends who are pick-me. A lot of people might not understand what this means, but basically, let's just say you're in a group of friends, boys and girls, and say now my contour isn't blended properly. The pick-me girl will go to me in front of everyone. Oh my god, look at Caitlin's contour, it's not blended, it's awful, blah blah blah. That is the definition of a pick-me. That's an example. There's a lot more other scenarios where someone could be a pick-me, but I know so many, well, I used to, obviously, because I'm not friends with them anymore, but I know a lot of people who are very pick-me. Literally, they're not your friends. Don't do it in person, or not do it in person, don't do it in front of other people, because you could be associated as being as bad as them being a pick-me. Just pull them to the side and be like, I don't like how you called me out on something that embarrassed me in front of people. Explain to them why it annoyed you and what they could do to improve it. Communication is the best thing you can do, but I know what you mean, and it is painful. I've had a lot of them where people try to embarrass me in front of groups of people, and it's just their own insecurities. Okay, so I'm going to do my lips before I finish doing any more questions, because I have a few more to go, but this is the Revolution, it's the Rimmel Rimmel London lip liner. It's the darkest shade. That's all I can tell you. You can get it in pennies. There's no shade on it, but it's just the darkest one anyways. So I'm just going to outline my lips. I can't talk obviously now. Okay, so that's my lips outlined. Then I go in with the Revolution. This is in the shade Matte Lipsticks in the shade Darling. This is just a little bit of a lighter nude that I just fill in the inside then. I definitely need a new lip combo, so if you have any ones that I want to try Doll Beauty, but if you have any recommendations of good lip combos, do let me know, because I've been using this for over a year and I'm sick of the way I look. But this is the Revolution Sheer Brilliant in the name Sheer. It's Misbehaving is the colour, 102 anyways, and it's just this cream gloss. If I could open it, Jesus. When it's blended then I just love these together then. So that's my go-to lip combo. I've only lately started going back to gloss because it's not as windy as it was during the winter, but that's my full makeup done anyways. I'm actually really happy how it turned out. Obviously, as I said before, I would do a bit more dramatic on my eyes if I was actually going somewhere, but I'm not. So I'm just going to answer a few more questions before I wrap it up. Okay, so what's my opinion on marriage? I don't know if you're watching the series Behind Her Eyes, I think it's what it's called on Netflix. It turns me off marriage. If you know me for ages though, I've said it for ages that I don't want to get married. I just feel like, my opinion, again, it adds bad luck to a relationship. I personally feel like all you're doing, I want to get engaged, but I don't want to get married because I don't like, just say, the pressure of if the relationship ends, having to have everything. All it is written on paper, like and the wedding, like I just don't want a wedding, even though I'd love to wear a dress. I'd probably have a small little wedding without it like legally married, but it's personally just not for me. I just feel my biggest fear is like working in 9 to 5, hating my life, hating my job, very unhappy in marriage, and that's just one of my biggest fears. And I know that's awful, but that is just one of my biggest fears, and I just personally don't want to get married, and Luke doesn't want to get married either. We both agreed that we'd love to get engaged, so like it's very important just to find the balance with the person you're with if you're planning and hopefully being with them for the rest of your life. But me and Luke have talked about that and we both agree with it. It's just a personal preference. Some people want to get married and that's fine for you, but me, I really don't want to get married. How do I keep motivated? I write down on my whiteboard things I have to do every day. I plan things in advance, things and goals I have to get done for the week, for the month, for the year. It really pushes me, and plus with all this COVID stuff going on, I've nothing but time to make videos, make content and just work on myself really. I think that's the majority of them. The other ones are very similar to questions I've already answered, so I hope that if I answered your question that I helped you in some way to give you advice. I honestly love sitting down so much, listening to people's questions, listening to people's topics, everything, and just discussing with you. And I hope if you've asked me a question that I've helped you in some way. I've loved answering them. I love doing these. I love hearing other people's opinions and stuff, so I will definitely do one of these again. I hope I helped you in some way if you've asked something, and if you haven't or you're too afraid to ask something, don't. You can always DM me personally. I'm always there to help, but next time I do one of these, if you're too afraid, please don't be too afraid to put in a question. But anyways, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed and I hope I'll see you back soon. Bye.